The false card you have for your past is the Knight of Swords. I'm seeing a couple of mixed things in here, a kind of a mixed reaction. It's like, I want to do this. I know I should do this. I'm a bit afraid to do this. That's the kind of thing I'm seeing, because this poor horse looks a bit afraid. So yeah, I think you might have been wanting to announce something or tell someone something. And this was something quite important, very important to you, I think. And there might have been two people, I think. I am seeing two people that you thought you should have announced this thing to. I'm actually seeing it might be a couple. And I think you knew that you had to tell them this, but yeah, there was this fear, there was this kind of anxiety around this, around telling them, even talking to them, even sometimes if you go to pick up the phone and speak to these people, there's a lot of stress around that for some reason. Now, I think you were afraid of the reaction that they were going to give you. I don't think you'd done anything wrong. I don't think this was an announcement to say that you'd done anything terrible. But I think one of these people might have been a little bit, well, more than a little bit, probably a bit dramatic, overly dramatic. They might even be quite a controlling person, because I'm seeing one person who's kind of a bit in charge of the other one, if that makes sense. And it's strange, because I'm just getting this kind of feeling that these are people who complain, or one of them does, about you not contacting them very often or not telling them things about your life very often. But the reason why you don't do that is because you get this negative reaction from them over and over again. It's happened before. I think it's happened quite a few times. And yeah, this knight's rushing in. He's forcing this poor horse to kind of rush in as fast as he can. But the horse looks really, really, really scared. It's like, no, you're making me do this, but I'm really scared. I don't really want to do this. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting looking at this poor horse's face. So I don't actually think you've told them this yet, because for me, it just doesn't feel resolved yet. Obviously, this horse is rushing and he hasn't got to his destination yet. So I don't kind of think that I don't think you've told them yet. If this resonates, you might have to. I think this is news that you're going to have to tell these people. That's the feeling I get, that this is quite urgent. This is a very urgent card. So you're kind of, oh, I have to do this soon. I know I have to tell them this, but I'm so afraid, but I know time's running out. I have to do this soon. That's the feeling I'm getting around that as well. So the next card you have for your past is the Queen of Swords. So yeah, if this is all resonating, what I'm seeing in the Knight of Swords, this is obviously very stressful for you again. And I think you probably, you feel stressed. You feel stressed just thinking about these people. But I think once you've done this, you'll do this and you'll contact them. They'll have a lot to say. I'm not going to pretend they won't. They'll have a lot to say. They'll have a lot to complain about probably, but they will. That's why you're afraid. They'll complain no matter what you do. These people would find problems in everything, even if you're perfect. If you're Mother Teresa, they'd find a lot of problems and say you were bad or you've done something wrong. So you may as well just tell them, because they'll do that anyway. I know it's scary, but if they're going to do it anyway, just come out with it, just tell them. And I keep on getting this feeling that you have to tell them anyway, because they'll probably find this out if you don't tell them. And it's best for the information to come from you rather than someone else. That's what I'm seeing. So, time's running out. You've just got to tell them. That's what I'm seeing around that. So the last card you have for your past is the Emperor. Yeah, I just keep on seeing these people that you need to talk to. I think, again, I'm seeing, because the Emperor is like a bossy card. He's like the boss. And so one of these people is like the boss of the other person. That's what I'm seeing. They're both difficult to talk to anyway, but I think one of them's a lot more difficult. One of them's more dominant than the other one. And I think this dominant person probably wants more sort of access to you, if that makes sense. They want more of a say in what you do. They want a say in your life. And that's another reason why you avoid them. That's what I'm seeing. You don't want someone bossing you around and telling you what to do. You're an adult. You're your own person. So I don't know why they want to boss you around, why they don't just mind your own business and let you go. But you've put up this barrier between you because you don't like the way that they treat you. It's almost as if you have to gear yourself up before you talk to them. You sort of arm yourself and prepare yourself before you go to talk to them. A bit like this suit of armour that this emperor's wearing. He's wearing this suit of armour. So, yeah, so again, if this is all resonating with you, I don't know if this will help, but once you've spoken to them, the stress will be over. It's going to be stressful. I'm not going to pretend it isn't, but it's going to be over. The sooner you do it, the sooner it's over. That's what I'm seeing with this. And you don't have to answer their difficult questions. They're going to give you them, but you don't have to answer them. You don't have to answer anyone's difficult questions. You don't need to justify yourself. Just say what you need to tell them. And if they ask you difficult questions, I don't want to tell you what to say, but you could just say something like, well, I can't really answer that right now. Or, you don't have to say any more than that. If they say, well, why are you doing that? Don't do that. What about? Just say, well, I don't really want to answer that right now. I can't say any more right now. Just something like that. So it might not work. I don't know. They'll probably keep on harassing you, but I mean, it's worth a try. Who knows? So the first card you have for your present is the Ace of Cups. So I think you have love around you. I think you have huge love around you with this card. And this is someone I think who's had to do a lot of healing. They've had a lot of problems. They've had some really big problems, I think. They've had some big relationship problems. They've had some big family problems as well. I'm seeing problems around a child, maybe. I know that's specific, but they might have had some kind of difficult custody dispute. Might have been that, might not have been, but it's something around a child. It's something quite serious, and it's something that's happened in a previous relationship of theirs, I think. Now, I think they still have some emotional scars from this, but I think they've gotten over the worst of this by this time. This card can be about healing, going through heavy emotional times and coming out the other end and arriving at a place of peace. And you can see it's peace because there's a beautiful dove at the top of this card. Now, that's where they are now. They're not at total peace, but they're a lot more peaceful than they were when they were going through all of this terrible time. Now, yeah, and I'm seeing you growing together as well. There's a lot of growth in this card with these beautiful water lilies growing at the bottom, and there's an aeroplane going past. Anyway, I'm just going to try and keep going. I'll try my best. Yeah, what was I seeing in this card? Yeah, you're going to grow. You're going to grow together, and you have a lot of emotion for each other, clearly. This card is full of emotion. But the main feeling I'm getting here, the main emotion I'm seeing here is kindness. It's kindness. There's a sweetness around this card. And it's like a divine sweetness, if that makes sense. It's beautiful. It's very pure and very beautiful. So if you are in a relationship, if this is all resonating with you, I don't know whether it's grown into this stage yet, where it's in a relationship, where you're in an actual relationship, I'm trying to say, because I am seeing new love. But this is what's coming up for you if it hasn't already. So if you're not in this relationship, if you're just friends, if it's growing into something, if you're just talking, but you can feel it growing, this is what it's going to grow into. A beautiful, beautiful, kind relationship, a beautiful, loving relationship. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your present is the Two of Wands. So, yeah, I'm seeing the same relationship again. And I think that even though you feel very positive toward them, obviously, with this beautiful Ace of Cups, I think there's always a small part of you that kind of holds back. Now, you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot of bad situations, a lot of bad emotional situations. And if you look at the man on this card, he's holding one wand, and it's a bit like a walking stick. It's like he's ready to travel. He's ready to move forward with his walking stick. And but there's another wand, and it's kind of bolted to the wall. So it's like a part of you isn't 100% ready to walk forward, because there's still a part of you that's kind of bolted behind you, stuck. Now, this has nothing to do with them. This has nothing to do with whether they're a good person or not. This is about you. And I think I think there'll probably always be a tiny piece of you that just kind of holds back a bit, just in case. It's like, I'm just seeing that in a past relationship, you gave everything to someone, absolutely everything to someone, and then you lost everything. And you don't want to let that happen again. That's what I'm seeing. And I think this is something that's deep, deep inside you, that you have this kind of holding back, this kind of being bolted back. You don't want to move forward with someone. Now you do. There's a lot of beautiful love in that card, in the Ace of Cups, but because you've been scarred, because you've been hurt, there's a little piece of you that's holding back. So yeah, I think this is just the way you are for now anyway, but I think it is going to gradually improve with time. I think there'll always be a little bit of a scar there, but I think it'll be a lot better than it is now for you eventually. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have you present is the Eight of Cups. So I'll move it up because I don't think you can see all the cups on this card. So yeah, sometimes this can be the breakup card. It can be about a lot of different things, but I'm actually seeing that you might have known this person in the the Ace of Cups before you actually had a relationship with them. So you might have known them years ago, you might have even known of them, or you might have been in a relationship before and they've come back again this time again, because I'm seeing a missed chance and then some kind of a reunion. That's what I'm seeing in this card. And this man looks as if he's walking away, but he looks to me as if he's going to walk around this hill and then come back around again to these cups, this wall of emotions. And again, I'm not seeing any problems between you. You do still have this wall up, this emotional wall. Even if it's small, it's still there a bit. But I think it's already starting to come down a bit. It's already starting to crumble a bit. There's a cup missing in this wall. It's the third cup and it's missing. So over time, each cup is going to come down bit by bit until there might still be a little bit of it there, but most of it will be gone at least. So I think as time goes on, you'll gradually learn to trust more and more, and then you'll be a lot more comfortable with this. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have in your future is the Moon. Yeah, I think this is a message for you. I think, if this is resonating, all of this with this person that you're with, this relationship, I think your partner might be feeling this barrier, actually, this Eight of Cups barrier. Now, I don't think they're saying anything to you at this time, but they're feeling this barrier, they're feeling it. Now, this card can be about imagining things, imagining problems that aren't there, or even over-worrying, overthinking things. And this is what this person's doing a bit, I think. So, maybe they're not saying anything, I'm seeing that again, and maybe they're not saying anything because they don't want to look as if they're nagging you or bothering you, like this dog and this wolf howling and nagging at this poor lobster as it goes past. They don't want to be like that to you. So you might just have to communicate, just reassure them that this isn't about them, this barrier that you have isn't about them. Because, see, I lose my train of thought every time a noise happens. I lose my train of thought. I don't, because any noise affects me. Anyway, you know that. So, yeah, I think you're just going to have to tell them. You're just going to have to say to them, I do have this barrier inside myself. I know it's there. I don't want it to be there. I don't mean it to be there. Gradually it'll come down as I trust more. It's not about you. I do love you. I do care for you. I just have it there. It's going to come down gradually, and it's just going to take time. Please don't think this is about you. It's not about you. So you might just have to say something like that to them, just so that they know it's not about them. So the next card you have for your future is the Six of Wands. I'm seeing a result. I'm seeing a result here. This is a result that you've been waiting for. I think this is something that's going to be huge for you. It might actually even be a turning point in your life or something like that. When you receive this result, it's going to be like, oh, right, now I can move forward. Now I can do this. Now my life is going to be different. That's what I'm feeling around this card. Now, this is a white horse, and white horses can be about huge turning points. If you think about the Sun card, it's like breaking through a barrier. If you think about the Death card, it's an inevitable change. So white horses also represent purity. They represent change. Obviously, I've just said that. And this is the Victory card. So this result is obviously going to be very positive, and it's going to be a big change in your life. This is going to be something that you probably won't be able to keep to yourself. This is something that you're going to have to tell people about, I think, because you might be, this might be about a career change, a big career change. I'm also seeing a potential move in this as well. So you might be moving house or something like that. And you have the Eight of Cups, which is about moving, walking to somewhere as well. So I'm seeing that, telling people, which is what you're going to have to do. It might cause a bit of stress for you. This is obviously a very, very positive card, but you might have to tell these difficult people in the Knight of Swords about this move you have to make, or about this career change. And I think it might be a bit difficult for them to hear. So I don't know if they're relatives. They might be. I was just seeing that they might be. And the other thing I'm seeing in this is the man on this horse has a crowd around him. And he's higher up than these people. He's up on his high horse. So whoever this is, who has a problem with this, who you don't want to tell, they might have a bit of a problem with you getting bigger or getting better or achieving things. But that's not your problem. Don't think this is your problem. I know that sounds blunt, but you're up there on this horse, and you're going to be up there when this result comes in. That's just where you are. That's just how it is. So if people aren't happy to celebrate that with you or whatever else with you, make sure that you're around people who are happy for you and who want to celebrate with you, because you don't want this kind of negativity around you, people who want to bring you down, people who want to bother you. You just don't need that. You don't need it. So the last card you have for your future is the Hermit. So yes, I think this is another message to you to remind you to trust yourself. Now, the Hermit, obviously the Hermit's a wise man. You're a wise person. You're an adult. You know what you're doing, obviously, because you have this success with the Six of Wands. And I think I need to remind you that you're an adult. You know you are, but you have these people in the Queen of Swords trying to tell you what to do, or the Knight of Swords, I should say, trying to tell you what to do, and the Emperor as well, bossing you around, wanting to know every bit of your life. And you are an adult. You are responsible for yourself. So try not to let these people who want to bring you down off that horse bother you. You're up on a horse, obviously they want to bring you down because you're up higher than them. If you weren't up higher than them, they wouldn't want to bring you down. So there's that as well. And even if they're bothering you subtly, even if they're saying little sly things or whatever, remember who you are and remember where you are. You're up on a horse, and you can ride away if you're up on a horse. You don't have to stay, you don't have to listen to them. It doesn't matter who this is. You do not have to listen to them. If they're not enhancing your life and they're actually trying to do the opposite for you, ride off on your horse. You don't have to be around them. Yes, you do have to tell these people how you feel or whatever this news is for some reason. It's some important news you have to tell them. But that's it after that. You don't have to explain things to them. You don't have to make excuses for them. Just say, right, this is what's happening. I don't have any more to say. Goodbye. That's what you're going to have to do about these people.